Don't listen to this if you're a pussy.
Gretzky!
What?
Get your ass over here!
All rise! It's the VIPOD!
Come get it while it's hot. Season 2's just gonna smell like a fried chicken fire log in here. Squirt. Squirt, 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 squirt. You know what our listeners want to hear? What? I don't know either. Where's that cactus? We should just have the cocaine song as our intro.
What the
I'm an immigrant. Did you just try to play footsie with me? You know who I really hate?
Tommy, I am your father.
Oh, so now we're doing movie quotes?
Yep.
Run, Gretzky, run! Are you recording?
Yep.
No, but really. Are you recording? Yeah. I get it. I see what you're doing here. You may be seated. I am Wayne Gretzky, the greatest one, and I'm here alongside my co-host, Tommy Show 1.0, and somewhat temporary co-host, the Nomad.
That chick who just won't leave.
I know, right? We've been trying to kick her out of here.
Stage 5 clinger. Stage 5 clinger.
I forgot my purse at your house, so I'm going to have to come back.
Loads.
Pour me one.
Loads.
I don't.
This looks dark.
I did not bring any booze because I'm high on pills. I fucked up my back today, so. I can have a little bit of beer. Oh yeah, look at that head.
Oh, be careful.
Famous last words.
It's a whole cup of head
Look at
for
that.
you.
That's beautiful.
And that was side poured too.
Wow,
Like
that is some beautiful head right there.
I know you're all about the head, right?
That means a lot coming from me.
You see your share of heads, right? Loads. So for those that it's the first time that hearing us, we say loads instead of cheers, just because we're cool and fuck everybody else. Cheers. Loads, I mean.
Oh my God, yes.
Kick me.
I just missed. And the brew of the show today is a brighter shade of doom.
Ooh, beautiful.
Brought to you by Bookstore Brewing Bookstore Brewing Co. It's a black NEIPA.
It's delicious, actually.
And,
it's very nice.
For all
and that
those
was recommended.
people who like drinking and reading.
That's right. That was recommended by Brett James, right?
Yeah, I bumped into him the other day, and we got talking about beer, and so yeah, this was one of the ones he mentioned, so I picked one up, and
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah, again, I'm not normally a darker beer guy, but I can handle this.
Yeah,
It's better than. But before the show, I cracked one of these Lake of the Woods Sneaky Peach. The peach was very sneaky because I couldn't taste it at all. It was just a stanky pale ale.
It was still a good beer, but
yeah, it was
nothing
decent.
peachy
But
about
I don't understand the name.
It sounds like you fully understand the name.
Or yeah.
I actually, one of our listeners is Peach. We call her Peach, and I was saying that it kind of tastes like when Peach.
Her mom
really,
didn't actually name her that. Oh, look at
when
the
she's
cute little
really
baby
angry.
Peach.
But yeah, it tasted like when Peach is very angry and just kind of pissed off at the world.
Yeah,
so.
Angry Peach. is what it
Angry
should have
Peach,
been
yeah,
called.
that's what it should be called.
I like when she yells at you guys.
Let's get into today's show. I am super pumped about our guest because this guy
has luscious locks.
well, he absolutely he has luscious
That's how we're starting the show. This
luscious
guy.
hogs.
This
I almost
guy
said
right
hogs.
here.
Well, you don't know. Maybe that too.
I don't know, but I would like to introduce the lead singer for a very well-known band back in 2003-ish, I'd say. 4 and so on. They held many shows, and basically the zoo was their home for
Glad to see
many
you did your
nights.
research before the show, Tom.
Fuck! I didn't know. Didn't need to make or do the research because I was part of those shows and hanging out with these guys. And
We
he's
probably
also,
got drunk together a few times back in the day.
I was probably underneath
Probably.
you in the basement. where they
dancing,
had
shaking your ass.
No, they had
Oh.
Ready Mix down there.
Ready? Oh, God, yeah. We're not going to talk about that today.
But
That's a different show.
lead singer of Dreadnaut, Wakefyre, Steve Crooks. Welcome to the show. I'm super pumped having you on here, man. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
No, this is great. Like I said, you got you and the guys in Dreadnaut. I'm gonna save a little spot in my heart because the way I met Steve was basically I was new to the country. I had no idea who's who and didn't know anybody, and I was just told that if I want to go see a rock show, go to the zoo, the Pyramid, the Albert, one of those places, right? And so I went to a show at the Pyramid, actually, and I'm not sure if you remember, you guys were opening for General Stone, and General Stone was my sister-in-law's brother's band. And then he was kind of telling me, I think you're going to like these guys that are opening for us. Like, they're a little bit heavier. And I was like, I heard first song from Dreadnaut. I'm like, fuck yeah, these guys are fucking awesome. I got to go talk to them. And I mean, the rest is history. I showed up to almost every Dreadnaut show and party. Oh man, the parties.
Yeah. What year did you come to Canada?
So I moved here in 2004.
Okay. Yeah, I remember when you first started coming around the scene, and man, you had such a thick accent, right? it's deterred a bit now. You're kind of getting the Canadian accent coming now, but I remember it was just so thick, and I loved it.
He's like, I can't understand a fucking word you're saying, but I dig your vibe.
It was priceless. Then he'd have some drinks and come to the house party, and just he's spitting out. It's like, I kind of know what you're saying.
That's right. Yeah. It's like, I just brought the booze. I'm like, here, drink this.
Oh, the piss.
Yeah.
The Slovakian piss.
Actually, 2003 and 4, that's when we first started out, actually. That's when we moved to Winnipeg in 2003 and played our very first show ever for Dreadnaut at the zoo, August of 2003. And then, so 2003 and 4, we were just starting to, taking off, right? Starting out.
Yeah, you guys were still a 5-piece band, I remember. And then Anthony, he basically, I'm not sure what happened, if he left or he just had other things going on, right?
Yeah, 2006, we parted ways. He had a lot of stuff going on. He had a kid, just a lot of things, and he just needed to do his own thing for a while.
Yeah, and then you guys went to a 4-piece, and I mean, you didn't skip a beat. You guys were just taking off. Like the zoo was your guys' home, pretty much. Like.
Absolutely.
The Night of the Living Dread, how many years did you guys host that?
So what's crazy about Night of the Living Dread is that the zoo closed down in, I think it was 2015.
Yeah, around
and
there.
Our 10th annual Night of the Living Dread on October 31st of 2015 was the final show ever at the zoo. It was a great send-off. So yeah, we did 10 years in a row of Night of the Living Dread.
Yeah, that was insane.
It was incredible. And a quick little tidbit about Night of the Living Dread. I think it was our 7th or 8th one. We had 710 people in the zoo that night, and there was only a capacity of 400. The only band ever to have more than 720 people or whatever we had in the zoo was Nickelback. When they first started out, they had like 760 or 750 people or 70 people packed in there. So we were the second highest of
I hate
all
to admit,
time.
I was at that show.
Get out.
The Nickelback show?
Yeah.
Nickelback.
Awesome.
No, it was still okay to like them back then. It's okay.
Yeah.
I
Back
hated
then they
them,
were
but
cool.
I learned to like them as I got older,
That's right.
They're a good band. You can't deny their musicianship and their songwriting. You can't deny it.
So, and many listeners that know you guys and know you personally, they know that you guys are from Thompson. Is everybody from Thompson? All the band members, the original ones, I guess.
All the original band members for Dreadnaut were all from Thompson, except Robin actually was, I think, from Niverville growing up, but came to
that's
Thompson
where we are
for
pretty
all
much
of high
now.
school.
Nice.
Yeah. So we were actually Robin. I didn't even know Robin in high school, and me and my buddy, who were just starting out to play guitar at the age of 15, heard this guitar coming from the Leckman Theater in our high school one day, and we went down, and there's this scrawny little skinny kid playing Jimi Hendrix on guitar.
Nice.
And we were just like, our jaws just dropped. And we're like, wow, like I want to play like that someday. And I didn't meet Robin. Maybe fast forward 3 years later, all of a sudden, yeah, we're playing in a band together. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's so cool. And I mean, you know, Robin, I don't think I've known Robin without the dreads. I've seen pictures of him without dreads, and I was just like, oh my God, that is not the same person. But
definitely not.
It's actually, I'm trying to pull up the picture that Robin actually sent me.
Do you see what he's doing these days with Propaganda on the road? He tours with Propaganda, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's insane. Like he does their sound.
His dreads go down to the floor now.
Yeah.
He just started growing them when we started Dreadnaut. He did, you know, no relation from his dreads to the band name, by the way. But his dreads actually hit the floor now, and every Propaganda show that he plays, he comes on stage and does a metal sweeper with his dreads that go from the roof to the fucking floor. It's actually part of their show now. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, so he sent me this picture, and you can kind of see that
you're in there.
I mean, I'm in there. That's one of the Dreadnaut shows.
Yeah, you're in lots of the crowd pictures over the years.
That's
buddy.
when I still had my long hair.
Look at there you go.
Is that
Holy
you?
shit! I remember that guy.
Oh my God! Look at all that hair.
But yeah, that was at the zoo, one of the Dreadnaut shows. So it's pretty fucking awesome that I made it to one of your guys' fan pictures.
Then you have kids.
You're in quite a few of them, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and then you guys did the video shoot out at Dan's place. Like that was oh my God, that was hilarious.
Your new design video, yeah.
The new design video. That's right. I'll never forget.
That was incredible. What a night!
Oh,
Wow.
I'll never forget. I forget his name, but he was the guitarist from Damascus, the tall dude.
Mike.
Yeah, he fell into the poop hole. Oh my God! And then
I seen that happen. I was right there.
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible. I felt so bad.
I guess he didn't have a cover for the septic tank, or I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah,
but
it
he
was
just
not quite a septic tank, but there was a lot of. It was not good. There's a lot of whatever in there. It was a mess.
And then shout out
and
to
he was just blindly walking.
no.
Of course, we didn't put up anything around it, and he just right into
he's
it.
walking with couple beers,
With 2 beers,
and he just disappeared.
Bam.
Did he save the beers?
I'm not quite
It was
sure.
an incredible night. That video shoot. We ordered. We just got a flatbed. We got a boom truck and some cameras. We bought like 6 kegs of beer. Went on social media, whatever social media was at that time. I think it was 2007, maybe. I don't know. Facebook just came out.
Probably
maybe.
MySpace,
and phones and everything. And we just told everybody free beer if you come out past the perimeter to this address. And we had like 350 people show up with tents and cars. The freaking the Hell's Angels were coming out on their bikes. And it was insane, man. It was wild. And then
Like,
we
we
drank till the
don't have that
sun
much
came up
beer.
that morning.
yeah.
We only had a couple cases.
No, but I mean, everybody obviously brought more booze too, and it was a hell of. You know what? I do not remember whether I stayed the night or got home. I have no idea. But I remember Mike falling into the poop hole, and then Dan was like, because Mike's like, Dan, I need to take a shower. He's like, you're not coming into my house. Fuck you. So they were hosing him down outside. I mean, luckily it was summertime, so nobody really cared.
Poor guy, man. That was rough. I remember all the lights I rented that night, they all burnt. Something happened. They all burnt out. So we got all the vehicles. We got everybody to jump in their vehicles and do a half a moon around the stage and turn on all their headlights, and then turn the video into something a little bit better.
Yeah, the video looked
cool.
really, really good. Yeah, exactly. I loved how it turned out. So
yeah.
Anyway, so fast forward, Dreadnought kind of slowed down a little bit, and then you guys kind of moved on. Like you mentioned, Robin is doing sound and stuff.
Sorry to cut you off there. No. But so after Anthony left 2006, we had our EP out, and then we released a new design, which did decent, especially locally in Manitoba. Fast forward to 2008, Anthony was a predominant songwriter in the band. So when he left, we were like, we really had to step up our game. Robin had to start writing. I was helping him on the guitar because I used to play a lot of guitar before then. And, we just plugged away. But we had 3 songs that Anthony wrote. And we used those on the new album called A Taste of What's to Come.
Yeah.
And we wrote the other I think it was 10 tracks, and then we did 2 covers, right? We threw on there was Roots, Bloody Roots by Sepultura and Wish by 9 Inch Nails, which we wanted at the end of the album, but our producer, Brandon Friesen at the time, talked us into putting them into the flow of the album, which was, I hated that, and I got voted out, and we ended up putting it in the flow of the album. They should have been at the end. Yeah. Anyway, getting off track.
I'm not bitter about it anymore. I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm over it. So 2008, we released that, re-released with EMI in 2009 with Brandon. And then that album actually hit the top 10 HMV charts across Canada. And we hit number 2. That's and cool. We were on tour at the time out in Toronto. And you go down to that the town square, and they had the big HMV there. So we went and checked it out, and we walked in. And as soon as we walked in, boom, our album's sitting there.
Nice.
Number 2 on the top 10 HMV chart. It was just so surreal, man. That was the climax of Dreadnaught's career right there. On tour, album doing well on the charts, and playing for, big shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was super fun.
And I mean, like, it doesn't matter whether you guys played in like the Zoo, the Albert, or like at the MTS. You guys had almost always a packed house. Like you guys really draw in the fans, because your songs are like, they're really powerful. Lots of melodics in there as well. So it's I mean, I just played some Dreadnought, and Nomad was like, I'm not a big fan of the screaming part, but I like
monster
the
noises.
The monster
so many
noise.
people say that. So many.
I liked when it slowed down. I was like, I like this guy's voice though, and Tommy's like, it's the same guy. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
To me, like, that is incredible that you can do the same. There's a lot of singers that they try to scream and sing, and one of them is just not there.
Or they
And
use
being
effects
able
to
to-
make it happen.
being able to switch
Right.
from one to the other so quickly.
I mean,
too.
as a singer, like how, like I remember I talked to Trevor Burney. He was the singer in Damascus, in Quo Vadis, in Jesus, what a
Great friend of mine. I love him.
yeah,
I love Trevor.
lots of other local bands,
brother,
and
yeah.
and I remember he was telling me that he actually took some vocal lessons, and believe it or not, it actually the vocal lessons will help you also with the growls and everything, and just to kind of control your vocal cords. So, what's your take on switching back from screaming to singing?
Dude, like, I don't even know where to begin with that. To be honest, I am so no lessons here, man. Like, very minute lessons over the years. I was a bedroom singer, like everyone is, a shower closet singer their whole life. My mom was a pretty big singer growing up. So by the time I was 10, 12, 13, I was singing along with CDs and stuff, and I could kind of mimic the voices, so I knew I could kind of sing, right? But I never sang in front of anybody ever. Fast forward to high school, I started playing guitar with my best friend. Never thought I'd play in a band. We just had fun smoking weed and playing guitar. That was it, right? Skipping class, playing guitar, smoking weed. That's what we did. Never thought I'd be in a band in a million years. I got kicked out of high school. I went back for my last year. I had to get 10 and a half credits to graduate.
we're gonna have to go back to that story later.
And the principal, Mr. Donovan, he's like, dude, if you want to graduate this year, you need 10 and a half credits. And the only way you can get your 10 and a half credits is if you take cooking class at 8 a.m. So you have to come in an hour early every day. And you have to take choir at lunchtime. And I'm like, dude, I am not taking choir. And I was like picking on the choir boys just 3 years ago. I'm sorry to say, I was not the best teenager.
Yeah.
And
Different
like, I
times.
can't do that. He's like, well, you're not going to graduate then. So I'm like, shit. So like, okay, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. I have to graduate. I have to do this. So I end up taking choir. Started September. By October, I become the lead male vocalist of this choir.
There you go.
I have to do a solo at the Halloween concert. My friends, okay, so I just started playing in a band at this time, playing bass. Wasn't singing or nothing. But my guitar player, Anthony, it's a crazy story anyway. He comes with about 5 of my buddies, and they're sitting in the back of this theater. I show up to do this solo. It was supposed to be my mom there, nobody else, and the adults, right? And I walk in, and then my nickname was Pudge in high school. I was a pudgy guy, right? So everyone called me Pudge. All of a sudden, I'm walking to the stage. Pudgy, Pudge. I look over. There's about 6 of my buddies there. I'm like, what the fuck? My heart just starts beating and beating. I'm so nervous. So I get on stage, do the solo. I do a good job. Anthony was there, Bradbury, you know who we were just talking about. So the next day, I was playing bass for him. I just started playing bass in his band. He calls me up. He's like, dude, you're not playing bass in the band anymore. He's like, you're going to start singing. And I just fired Ryan Coburn, who was singing for us at the time. This guy's like 6'6", 250 pounds. He's like, dude, I fired Ryan from the band today. You're not playing bass anymore. You're going to start singing for the band and stay away from Ryan because he wants to kick your ass. What? Are you serious right now? So it's like, yeah, pick 3 songs. I think I was about 19 at this time. I started playing bass for them at 17. And then this was at 19 years old. I got kicked out at 18, came back at 19 to finish up the high school. And he said, pick 3 songs. I picked Mud Shovel by Stained, Taste of Ink by The Used, and Fine Again by Seether. I don't even know where these songs came from, but I could. And then, so I sang those songs and like, fuck, I sang them pretty good. And guys were like, man, like right on. And rest is history. Like, that's when I started singing for a band. Yeah.
You know what's really crazy is that is like almost identical to the same story as I have for how I got into singing as well. Like I wasn't in school choir, but my mom had me in church choir.
That is so much worse.
Hey, I had to go to. I was forced to go to church every Sunday till I was 13, and my mom sang in church. That's where I kind of got it from.
And you know, and same thing. I used to like lay in bed and like sing Bon Jovi concerts and like think in my head that I'm Bon Jovi. And then so one day I found a couple of my buddies had a band together, and so I asked them, I'm like, oh, do you need a rhythm guitar player? Like I wouldn't mind joining a band and playing some rhythm guitar with you. And they're like, yeah, sure, come on down. We jam on Sunday or whatever, you know. So I went down the next week, and I get there and I put all my guitar and stuff down, and I turn around and Buddy hands me a microphone, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I heard you humming some songs a few times, and you can hold a tune, so you're actually going to be our singer. We don't need a rhythm guitar player, and. Yeah, and I had absolutely no confidence in singing and had no right to have any confidence in singing because I really wasn't any good at the time. But yeah, our first 3, we picked same thing, like a 3-song set, and it was Lightning Crashes by Live, Fly Away by Lenny Kravitz, and Rockin' in the Free World by Neil Young to close her out, right? And but like, very, very similar kind of progression to exactly what you said.
Did you get kicked out of school too?
No.
So almost identical.
I got detention quite a few times. I never got kicked out though.
Just to touch really quickly on how, like, the singing thing. So that choir and when I took choir in high school, that's where I got a little bit of singing lessons that year, right? But after that, I never took any singing lessons. I probably should have, but I never did. And all I did was just sing along with my favorite bands, sing to their CDs, And then we got serious. Like, we were practicing every day. The band Dreadnaut was like every day. We all got a house together, all moved in together, and it was just all the time, every day singing, you know. And then the guys are like, dude, you should try screaming. And I'm like, I don't know. And I don't know. I just like, okay, I'll try it, I guess. And then all of a sudden I just like, you know, screamed, and then they all looked at me like, holy fuck. And I'm like, yeah, like that sounded all right. Like I was super huge into Chester, you know, like from Lincoln Park. Yeah. And so he was a huge influence on me and his singing style. And I started singing and screaming along with his with the Lincoln Park albums after that. And that's kind of where I started getting my scream from.
And then I guess just over the years, as you were doing it, just it became very natural to you, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Just like I said, the practicing, we all lived together. We didn't go to bed maybe one night a week where we didn't practice, right? Yeah. And so it's constantly, and when I first started screaming, my voice, like 1 or 2 songs, my voice is gone, you know? And then after we kept doing it, my vocal cords, they're a muscle, so you can strengthen them up to get stronger and stronger, right? So over time, all of a sudden I'm singing and screaming for 20 minutes, 30 minutes straight. Then all of a sudden I'm doing 45, boom, I'm up to an hour. Yeah. You know, for that kind of vocal style, after about an hour, it gets pretty rough, I think, on anybody.
Yeah. And so you guys all moved in together here in Winnipeg, right? And like,
Yeah. Oh my God.
I remember
So,
that
yeah.
was not Benetine, but Barrington
Barrington
Avenue,
Hotel
yeah.
in Winnipeg. If anybody in Winnipeg was partying around 2000 and say 4 or 5 or even 3, like right when we started, we didn't start partying hard until maybe a year or 2 in. We were really focused and really driven on the music. We still drank as a group,
Yeah.
but we didn't invite people over like we started doing later on. But 2004 or 5, right up to 2000 and I think 11 or so is when we got rid of the house. I moved out a little earlier than the other guys did.
Yeah.
But that whole time it was.
Oh, so here
I always say, sorry, Tommy, but I'll just say this quick. We were like Motley Crue without the money.
Absolutely. You know what? That is a perfect analogy. The first time I went to the Dreadnaut house, I'll never forget. It was the first time I went to see your guys' Halloween show. And they're like, yeah, we having a party. I'm like, all right, let's go grab some beers. And at the zoo, right across from the back alley, there was the beer store. So I picked up a case and then showed up at the house. And like, I'm just kind of walking around and started meeting some people and seeing some familiar faces. And I walked to the basement, right to where your jam room was. And then I see this tiny Asian girl, just hands on the wall, pants down to her knees, and she's getting whipped, like no panties, like she literally like stripped out and she's getting whipped. She was somebody had a whip there, and I was just like, all right, like this is a great party.
I'm home.
And you showed up to every party for the next 5 years.
Oh yeah, my wife,
Chasing the dragon.
How could you not after that?
right? And like I remember you guys were releasing like Dreadnaut TV videos, and those were fucking hilarious. You ran someone's head through the door, and oh my God, good times.
Yeah,
but
Dreadnaut TV. And you know what's crazy? We should have trademarked that DTV at the time, because digital TV came out with DTV after, but we didn't trademark DTV. It was Dreadnaut TV, but we had a big D.
That's
TV.
right.
We did like a handful of episodes. We did like a fake, not a fake, but we did DTV Cribs.
Yeah.
But if you want to see the Dreadnaut house, look up DTV Cribs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
And the one thing that I remember from DTV, where you played the message that you got from your boss when he let you go. I guess you kept calling in sick all the time, and then just basically this guy calls like, you know what, Steve, don't fucking come to work. We don't want you.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. So what happened was, I'll give you a quick story. And I did not want to put that that voice message on the album. I was totally against it. I don't want to. Every time I listen to our album, I don't want to listen to my boss fucking bitch at me. Like
That was hilarious.
the guys talked me into it. And I'm so fucking happy we put it on there, because the whole construction world was like, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this. It really helped get the name out there. But I was a friend of ours, Tom Bryson from Thompson, came to Winnipeg to visit. He's a big boy working out. We got totally hammered one night, and I was like trying to arm wrestle him, because I was a big arm wrestler. I was chubby. I was not in the best shape, but I was really good at arm wrestling, because my uncles were always getting me to arm wrestle when I was growing up. So me and Tom went at it like 10 times, and like he was beating me most of the time. I maybe got him a little bit here and there, but we went 10 times. That next morning I woke up, my arms were stuck to my chest and my biceps, like I could grab my hand and I could touch my fingers around. That's how much my muscles contracted and shrunk. I looked like I had 2 little sticks. I had to go to the hospital. I had to get massages to get my arms to straighten out again. So I could not go into attics and blow insulation. And so when I had to take 2 weeks off work, and when it was time for me to come back after the 2 weeks, the boss, not the owner of the company, but the boss, ended up leaving that message on my answering machine that morning.
I mean, that was hilarious. Just like how you could
gotta
tell.
listen to it. It's wild. He rants for like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was a long message.
Imagine waking up at 6 a.m. and as you check your message, and all of a sudden I'm getting this. I was like, what the fuck? I knew I had to take a little recorder and like record it on. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
sadness, can I reach myself inside? Can I turn my back forever and never wonder why? Can I lock myself outside this? Can I reach myself inside? Can I turn my back forever and never wonder why? Can I lock myself outside this? Can I reach myself inside? Can I turn my back forever and never wonder why?
Nice. So, anyways, and so yeah, Dreadnaut kind of went on a hiatus, and then you moved on a little bit, and Wakefyre was born. I mean, Wakefyre, I would say, I think Dreadnaut was heavier as far as maybe genre, but Wakefyre has to me, it's like it has such a nice taste because it has a little bit of rock. It has, it is like hard rock, I would say.
Yeah.
And but it's you guys really took your time to actually create the sound of Wakefyre, because I haven't really heard a band like that yet. I mean, I'm sure there might be another band around like that, but
oh man, I can't wait till you hear. If you're saying that about the songs we have out now, that's awesome. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. But wait till you should hear the songs we're writing now. They're just a whole other dimension compared to what that EP is that we put out, and the musicianship for everybody has just gone up. And
I love what you guys are doing, because, well, obviously, so you guys are now based out of Thompson, right?
Yeah, we are.
And and you know what? It's kind of nice that you're not playing every single show that you possibly could, because, well, first of all, you have to make it to the city here as well, and it's quite a trek. I know it's a little bit easier now, but we'll get into that, your business. But it's like you hear Wakefyre's playing, and then you just kind of want to go see them, because you're not going to see them again until maybe 5, 6, 7 months after that, right?
Sure.
So, well, and as a band too, when you're playing every weekend, to be able to ask your sorry, not your fans, but your friends and stuff to, like, come out to a show.
Yeah.
It's only going to work so many times. Like, like as good as you are and as good of friends as they are, especially with the way prices are of things nowadays, drinks and gas, it's an uphill battle.
Like, I wouldn't do that nowadays, but who knows? I don't know. Like, I'm just not, I'm not a fresh new band. I don't know how they would do it, but I know Dreadnaut, we were playing like almost every weekend. And yeah, your friends you had the diehards that would come out every weekend.
Yeah.
Whether you're friends or not. And then, that's how you have to grow your fan base. You have to find we took 5 venues in Winnipeg, and we just pretty much circled them, as much as possible. And that's how we got our name out there in Winnipeg. And that's how we grew. So I'm not against doing that at all. I think you have to, especially when you're first starting out.
Absolutely.
But we wouldn't do that nowadays.
Yeah. Sure. And so how did Wakefyre start? Because I know Anthony from Dreadnaut joined you again.
Oh, I lost you.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I lost you for a second. Okay. I'm back. You guys good?
Yeah. We're good.
I got lots of battery power. I'm good. Okay. So yeah, I could tell you a quick story. Dreadnaut. You know what? Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, the fucking partying got out of hand. Like after we blew up, and we blew up to our extent, and was touring, and we hit the charts and all that stuff. Like, the partying just got crazy, and there's people knocking on your door 4 nights a week to party, and it just got really tiresome. We stopped practicing. The partying became more important than the writing and the music, and we just kind of honestly lost ourselves for a little while there. it became too much for me. I needed to get the fuck out of that house. And I had just had a kid who was, living in not a great area. And me and her mom both, I was a broke musician. She didn't have money. And I was like, man, like I got to make some money. Like, so I was like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Like I'm going to go back home and work in the mine where I can make $100 and something grand a year. And at least, give $1,000 a month or more to the mom and whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, see you guys. Went to Inco, which is now Valet in Thompson here in my hometown. And Anthony Bradbury, the original guitar player, the guy who started Dreadnaut, ended up, he was my boss.
Oh, that's funny.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's like I started working at the refinery at Valet, producing nickel that came from the underground.
Yeah.
And we were doing the finishing product, and Anthony ended up becoming my boss. And so we just kind of rekindled our friendship when I was working under him. And, he's like, dude, like, I've been playing guitar again and I have a lot of riffs. And I'm like, he's like, let's find let's find some guys to play with here. And he found the Didluck cousins, Travis Didluck and Sean Didluck, very young. These kids were Dreadnought diehards. They said they wouldn't even be playing music if it wasn't for Dreadnought.
Yeah. That's
so
nice to
that's
hear.
cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and these guys are like 15 years younger than us, maybe, or at least maybe 10 to 15 years younger than us. And so we knew that they were playing together, and Anthony went and got them another guitar player and the drummer to come join us, and we started jamming together.
Nice.
And and that's when Wakefyre was born, 2015-ish, I want to say. Yeah, maybe that's when it was born. And fast forward, like Travis actually went off to work for Xbox in Toronto, doing amazing.
Nice.
And and Sean still works at the mines here, but he just kind of was not really into the drumming anymore. I think he wanted to do other things.
Yeah.
So we ended up finding Jason. So we needed a bass player, Jason Friesa from 10 Engine X.
Yep.
Nice.
From Winnipeg.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a jet engine mechanic here at Calm Air at the time. For some reason, I thought he was a guitar player. I forgot he played bass. And so I just ended up messaging him. Anthony's like, no, he plays bass. I'm like, holy shit. Like, and this guy is amazing.
Yeah.
He's like a freaking guru bass player, And I messaged him on Facebook, say, Jay, he knows us because when we first started out, we opened up for 10 Engine X, Dreadnaut did, like when we first started out. And like, hey, how's it going, bro? Like, me and Anthony started up a new project. It's just me and him right now. Actually, no, Sean was still drumming with us at the time. We need a bass player. Are you interested in writing some original music again? And he's like, fuck yeah.
Nice.
It's like, nice. Meet us at the hall. Gave him the ad. Boom. Keek shows up with his gear. Okay, we got a full band now. We got a, bass player, singer, guitar player, and a drummer. And then we just started writing. And it was a slow start-off process. We got together when we could, and then it started getting a little bit busier. And then Sean kind of parted ways. And then, we had Jeff Haney come in and play drums with us for a while, who we did the EP with. Great guy. And, just kind of, he was a lot older than us. He was retiring, moving on, doing his own thing as well. And then we ended up getting... Josh Barnowitz, our brother now, who drums for us now, and who was a huge Dreadnaut fan as a kid too. And we were like, he said he listened to Slipknot, Kill Switching. This is when he was young, like probably 10 to 12 or something. He was listening to Kill Switch Engage, Slipknot, and Dreadnaut.
That's
and
awesome.
he had no clue that Dreadnaut was from Thompson at the time. He just thought we were up there with those guys, And then he fast forward, like he finds out 8 months to a year later that we're coming to Thompson to play, and he's freaking out. And then that's when he finds out we're actually from Thompson, and no, we're not as big as Slipknot or Kill Switch. But that was such a sweet story. And now he's drumming with us in Wakefyre, which is so cool.
Well, and you were saying like you had to get away from the partying, at this point of your lives, because Anthony had the same reason why he kind of left Dreadnaut, right? Like you mentioned that he had started a family. And so now you guys have different priorities. So your mentality is different a little bit. So even just that approach to the music, you kind of almost like started off fresh, but with a different look, right? And different sound, and you're more matured.
Except now you have much younger band members too. So how does that work? Are they still into the partying?
Band members?
Well, you mentioned that Josh was like a
15
fan,
years.
you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Josh is he's 25, I think. The rest of us are 40 or pushing 40.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't feel I'm 39. I'm gonna be 40 at the end of this year. I do not feel anywhere close to that.
No,
but
right.
Josh is 25. Yeah, and you know what? He's such a solid dude. He's definitely way further ahead than any of us were at the age of 25. He's already married. He has a great job. His wife is great. They just they save, like, they're just doing it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. He's very talented. He's artistic. Like no complaints at all. You know?
And it's different when
he still likes to drink a bit more than the rest of us. But
well, he probably recovers a lot faster the next day than you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think the band overall is more mature. So if you have a younger member, that younger member will probably follow.
They know how they have to carry themselves around
exactly.
you, kind of deal.
Especially if you're
Hopefully.
kind of one of his heroes.
yeah, absolutely. And he says that too, which is super uplifting, and it's very nice. But he still brings that younger mentality to our group, which is good too, because we're all getting to be old farts here, and like he's still down there, so it's like he brings in that little young
The new concepts.
vibrant, like, hey,
perspectives.
so it is a good contrast between us all right now.
Yeah. Do you want to plug your next show that's coming up on the 25th here for Wakefyre?
Sure. We're playing in Thompson for Nickel Days, our hometown. This is the biggest show of the year every year up here, but we haven't been able to do it for the last 2 years because you know.
Yeah.
And so we're opening up. It's just us and the old school band Prism, if you can believe that. I don't know if you know who Prism is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like from the 70s and 80s, and they're coming out in their wheelchairs and walkers to rock the house one more time. No, I'm just kidding.
That is awesome. When I saw that, I was like, hell yeah, man. If I could, I would go for a road trip, man. That would be a hell of a show.
It's going to be a good time. I'm super excited about it. And actually Wakefyre is going to rock the hell out of the show with Prism. And then we're just going to kind of take a little bit of time and just polish up our songs, do some demo recording. We've always tended to go into the studio without any pre-production done. So we just kind of scratch track it, go in, spend a shit ton of money. So we've been doing a lot of pre-pro ourselves now, doing a lot of recording on our own and getting the songs to where we really like them, really want them to be before we go into the studio.
Yep.
So we're going to be spending a lot of time doing that over the next probably 6 months at least.
Yeah. Nice. So you guys played, I believe, was it March in Winnipeg?
Yeah, March.
Yeah, March, right? And I couldn't make it out there. I was planning to go to the original. I actually went to the original show that you guys had planned, but unfortunately, you guys had to cancel, which is shitty news. But we're not gonna get into that right now. I couldn't make it to your March show, so I was like, oh, that's too bad. But do you guys have any shows booked for Winnipeg soon or nothing?
No, not
yet?
right now. Nothing. No. Like I said, this was we just kind of want to take a step back and finish off these songs. We have so many great songs. Like if you come to our show, all the songs are new. There's nothing that you've heard. Like that's the whole set's all brand new songs, except that song that you just played to open up the show here tonight, Divide. That's the only song that we're playing.
Okay.
From anything that we've previously recorded.
Oh, nice. Cool.
So the rest of the set's all new songs. We have we have some really cool, catchy, short bangers. And then we have some, we have 2 songs. One's 9 minutes and one's 10.5 minutes long. Like we've never done this before in our life. Well, and it just feels so cool to be able to play these songs, to write this way, So
I know one of your biggest influences is Tool. And so are we going to hear something similar to that?
Absolutely. There's some Tool influence.
Nice.
Definitely 100% in a couple songs.
Nice. That's super. I mean, you guys do a fantastic cover. So
46 and 2 we used to do. Yeah,
that was, and that's one of the hardest fucking songs to play.
Holy cow.
I don't know how you guys do it, but you guys make it sound pretty fucking dope. So
thanks, man. Yeah, it took us a lot of practices, no doubt.
So and like so let's talk about your business a little bit because when you own Highway 6 Express,
Right.
and I guess nobody was really doing that for people that want to travel between Winnipeg and Thompson, eh?
Wait, are you telling me that being a musician is not a lucrative way of living?
I wish, buddy. I wish. Oh man, you try to make it your full-time job. Like there was a time where I didn't have to work for a little while. We were making a little bit of money, and and I didn't like it wasn't much, but it was enough to survive and keep playing shows. And so that was really cool. We got to do that. I got to do that for probably a good couple years. And but it wasn't much. You're not saving anything. You're scraping by. You know what I mean?
Well, and once kids are in the picture, that's when it becomes harder, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And so Highway 6, I don't even know where to begin with that. Like I quit valet. I was working in the mines there. I was there for 3.5 years, like maybe till 2000 and I guess 17 or somewhere around there. Anyway, I quit. I couldn't take that crap anymore. It was just not a good environment. There's chlorine in the air. You're breathing it like,
Yeah.
It was not the healthiest place to be. So I quit, went back to school for 6 months, got my small business management certificate, decided to start up a delivery service in Winnipeg. And then I hate driving around in the city, especially for 8 hours a day. I said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I don't like doing it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, no
exactly. I'm not doing it. But the highway from Winnipeg to Thompson, and Thompson's my hometown, and obviously the band was still up in Thompson, right? Wakefyre was still up here. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? And Greyhound just quit.
That's right.
Yes.
Greyhound just threw in the towel, so there's no bus service up here. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get a small bus and just start this Highway 6 Express, because Highway 6 is the biggest highway in all of Manitoba. It goes from Winnipeg all the way to Thompson, which is almost like 740 kilometers or something like that, about an 8-hour drive. Yeah. If you're doing the speed limit or whatever. It could be shorter, it could be a little longer, depends on how fast you drive. And
sometimes the bus arrives a little early.
Oh man, when I would drive in a car, I could do it in 6 hours. I think my fastest time was 5.5 hours. Like I don't know. Not
it's like the Bermuda Triangle, right? Like something must have happened. I don't know what happened, but like you just went through. I saw a light in the sky, and then I was there.
Just got me there. I don't know. But it was nighttime driving. Not many people on the highway, young and stupid, just burning it, giving her, I bought a small bus, put a little trailer on the back and started hauling people back and forth from Winnipeg to Thompson and doing a little bit of freight, whatever I could. And, very quickly, some large bus services came into Thompson, Mohican Bus Lines, Maple Bus, Thompson Bus Lines. It's all just totally. And then you got the big, nice buses. I'm here in this little handyman. Yeah.
Bussy McBus face.
I'm like, man. And then they started reducing the prices way lower than me. And I can't compete. I cannot compete here. So they kind of ran me out, and I said, you know what? I'm not giving up on this. So I got rid of my bus. Well, actually I still have it, but I traded in my bus for a box truck and started doing strictly freight, no passengers. And that really kind of took off for me. And so I added a big trailer on the back of the box truck and started moving people back and forth and doing freight services, whatever you can think of, right? Yep. And that was way more lucrative than the passenger service. And what's nice about it is I'm by myself on the highway for those 8 hours. So I get to listen to my podcast, my motivational speeches. I get to sing and work on my songs on the highway while I'm driving, making some good money,
That's right.
So it's 8 hours. It's an 8-hour shift one way to the next. So what's an 8-hour drive, right? Like the highway's in rough shape, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah. No kidding,
Yeah. And,
the carbon tax supposed to fix it, right? Never mind. Let's not get into that.
Let's not go there. I'll fucking talk for an hour on this shit. I don't want to go there. But so, the freight service took off, has taken off. I'm going on year 4 now of the company. I was able to purchase a commercial property here up in Thompson. Started running my business out of here. And yeah, just doing door-to-door service mostly in Winnipeg right now. And yeah, but so it's taken off. I'm doing well. I can't complain at all. I'm happy where I'm at. The business is doing good. Yeah, and I'm able to the commercial property here in Thompson. This is where Wakefyre jams. This is where I'm at right now. You know, we got a dojo here where you know, a friend of mine, Mitch, she does like Taekwondo classes and butts and guts for the women and all this stuff out of this little spot that we
Sign
built for
me
her.
up.
Yeah, Tommy needs a butt and get rid of a gut.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
and you may have just answered this with what you just said, but I mean, stereotypically, people in the trucking freight business have issues maintaining their weight, and clearly that isn't an issue for you. How do you manage to have a job where you literally sit in a truck all day and still manage to be in great shape?
Yeah, well, thanks. I'm in the best shape of my life, to be honest, right now. But yeah, so anyway, I still have a ways to go, but I'm not driving I am in a truck pretty much every day, but I do a lot of work in Thompson for, you know, I only go to Winnipeg once a week, once every second weekend or so, depending on how the freight comes. We have a lot of in-town work where we have 2 guys in a truck. So it's moving houses and apartments, doing dump runs for people. I'm also into appliances. So like repair and sell used appliances, like all types of crap I got my hands into, right? Like whatever I can do to make a buck.
So it's keeping you pretty physical too.
Pardon?
I said, so it's keeping you pretty physical as well, like with all the lifting and hauling and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that doesn't keep you in shape at all. Like the job is not doing it.
The Pizza Oven is dedicated to the highest quality pie that the whole family can enjoy. With their amazing sauce and the freshest ingredients, the Pizza Oven is here to provide quality and a great tasting pizza to Winnipeg and East St. Paul. They use a delicious blend of mozzarella cheese and make their pizza crust daily, both thick and thin, and their meats are proudly provided by Winnipeg Old Country. They're located at 1215 Henderson Highway, Unit D in Winnipeg. Call them today at 204-949-3000 because everyone's loving the Pizza Oven. And tell them the VIPOD sent you by using promo code VIPOD5 for 5% off of your order, and order online for an additional 5% off for a grand total of 10% off of your order.
We would like to take a moment to say a great big thank you to our lead sponsor, SafetyNet Studio, for bringing us to all major platforms under their banner. SafetyNet Studio is a boutique audio company. They produce podcasts, offer voice work, and create content for radio stations across North America. You can head to safetynetstudio.com and check out music news you can use that's covering the chart toppers and floppers. It's a daily 6 to 7 minute pod that keep you up to date with all your active rock and top 40 favorites. You can also hear music news you can use on your local radio station.
Badlands Promotions Inc. is a music production company based out of Portage La Prairie, Manitoba, Canada. They promote local shows, all ages, and 18+. They also offer a wide variety of services including concert promotions, tour bookings, merchandising, flyers, photo and video services, studio recording, EPK, and website building. Call Badlands Promotions Inc. at 204-595-0500. You can also email them at badlandspromotionsplap@gmail.com. VIPOD is very excited to promote every Badlands Promotions Inc. show, so come out and support your local scene.
So let's rewind 2 years ago. There's a gym next door. I started dating the owner there. She got me going to the gym, and really got me into it. I'm not with her anymore, but I kept it going after we separated. And I just, and then I hired Mitch because I was kind of lost. I was losing some weight, but I wasn't losing enough. But I was still feeling good. And when I first started running with her next door, I could only run for 7 minutes. I was fucking done. Like 7 minutes, I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm having a heart attack.
I'd be happy to be able to run for 7 minutes.
Oh, dude. Like,
Yogging.
Yeah, yogging.
and then I just kept going, and then all of a sudden you're running for 20 minutes. Now you're running for half hour, and you're going 40 minutes. Like wow! I was, like I said earlier, my nickname was Pudge. Right in high school, I've been chubby my whole. At the age of 10, I just my mom is an amazing cook, so always the best food in the fridge. So like as soon as 10 years old, all of a sudden I just got chubby at 10 years old. I was a skinny kid, 10 years old, just got fat, and I kept it on all the fucking way up to 2 years ago till I was like 37, and I was really big when I started dating her next door, and I had to lose it. So anyway, started running. I was in a plateau. I didn't really know what I was doing. So I hired a personal trainer, Mitch. She's wonderful. And she put me on a diet, by the way, is 100%. You can go to the gym every day. You're not going to see shit unless you fucking change your diet. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So I gave up drinking. I was still drinking quite a bit at the time, like at least once a week. And so I said, okay, we're gonna do this. I stopped drinking,
loads,
partying. I still have my night once in a blue moon right now, but it's very rare. Yeah. You know how I get when I drink,
The whips come out.
Sounds like you got your fill anyway.
Exactly. I did it to the fullest extent, and I am super happy I'm still on this planet after all that shit. So I got the personal trainer. Get a personal trainer. They will change your fucking life. I'm telling you right now. Like if you're struggling and you can't do it on your own, it's worth the money. Just fucking do it.
Well, I mean, I saw your videos. You've been fucking now doing weights and everything. Like you're pushing your body, and the results are great.
Yeah, so she got me going on a diet, and we started going every day. Like I'm at the gym 6 days a week. Even if it's just for 45 minutes, but whatever, you go, you make it a new habit. I traded the bar for the gym. Yeah. And she got me I lost 55 pounds of fat, like 55 pounds. I was 230 when I started, and I got down to like 175. I'm hovering about 180, 185 right now. So I'm trying to get this last little. I got a little bit of chub left and just a tiny bit of loose skin where my belly used to be. Yeah. So I'm trying to get we're trying to gain 15 pounds of muscle now, which is way harder than losing fat. Right. Gaining muscle is so hard. Yeah. If you want to do it naturally. Yeah. And I'm doing it naturally, right? So right now, if I can get this 15 pounds of muscle back on, I'm gonna have the body that the 10-year-old. The teenager me always dreamt of, you know? Yeah. And just getting rid of that, and that little tiny bit of skin is not crazy for me because I wasn't that big, but I was still overweight. So I'm gonna be able to just put the muscle into it and stretch it out, and it'll be good. I'm like super excited to get there.
So you mentioned diet. Are you in a bulk now if you're trying to gain muscle?
Sorry that my camera looks a little blurry there. I didn't even look earlier. Oh well.
Did you?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So you said you're trying to gain muscle now. You've lost the fat. You're trying to gain muscle. Are you in a bulk now, like upping your calories?
Right. Yeah. So calorie counting's huge.
Does that mean you get to have cheeseburgers?
No, it's healthy calories, Bretsky.
He's talking about cheeseburgers. So.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is, and I'll take back kind of what I said earlier. It's not going to be very enjoyable. You're not going to have the energy. You're not going to feel great. But if you eat shitty food, but stay under your calorie intake, that your daily calorie, you'll still lose fat. Yeah. You could eat cheeseburgers and shit, but a cheeseburger has 1,200 calories in it. So you're only going to have that cheeseburger and a drink, and you can't have nothing else for the rest of the day. Yeah. So you want to have the vegetables and the rice and the food, because you can have a big plate of vegetables with a good chunk of meat and rice, and it's maybe 800 calories. So,
I found when I was leading back in the day a bit of a healthier lifestyle, when you do put that work.
Don't lie to people.
That was the funniest part of the show, everybody. But when you are putting that work in, it.
Sorry, I need to interrupt you to just tell the listeners that Bretsky posted a picture in Discord the other day of what's that thing
So
called?
you know what sous vide is?
Sorry?
You know what sous vide is? Like sous videing a steak. So what it is, it basically cooks steak to perfection, and basically you vacuum pack the steak and you put it in this water, and this machine just heats up the water and keeps it at a perfect temperature, and the steaks are the best. But this guy,
He posts a picture of some pizza pops.
in the sous vide. so we're just like, you said
If you're
something
gonna have
like,
pizza pops, you got to do it classy.
I was like, I don't feel like cooking food in plastic bags can be the healthiest, but seeing that you put pizza pops in there, I guess that's not really your
goal.
goal.
Okay, but again, I was talking back years ago when I was a healthier gentleman.
Gentlemen,
That's 2 lines now. You're never a gentleman.
But like,
get your head out of your ass.
when you're putting that work in, it's easier to have that second thought when you look at something that's shitty to eat and you're like, fuck, I've put some work in.
Yeah.
Like, do I really want to have a double bacon chili cheeseburger right now
Oh,
with
that sounds
extra
so
mayo and gravy on top?
Yeah.
Yes. And put some cheese on top, but I shouldn't.
Well, the thing
it's
is,
so
when
good,
you're
so
eating,
good.
when you're eating all those bad calories, and like you said, now you can't eat as much because you're counting, and so you have this like one disgusting greasy burger, and then you can't have anything else. That just ups your cravings more because you're hungry. Like I think I was starving myself for a long time without realizing, and now I'm eating like 2,000 calories, which is double what I was eating a year ago. And and I'm eating all the fucking time, but it's like lots of meat and like good food.
Yeah.
And I have no cravings anymore, whereas last year I was like,
It's because your body is getting the nutrients
Yeah, it's
it's
getting what it
craving, and
wants.
then it's good.
yeah, and like a year ago it was like once a week I'd have a cheat day, and I would eat till I felt sick. And well, like once I accidentally threw up, like it was, I just like ate so much that I woke up at 3 a.m. and hurled.
Oh man,
was
I've
like,
been
that was-
there. I hear you.
It was the most French fries I ever ate in my life. But
Absolutely.
now it's just like I look at ice cream, and I'm like, I love ice cream, but I don't like craving's not there anymore. It's so much easier to say no.
Absolutely, the body is so incredible, man. Like the world does not know how incredible the body is. Like to
It's
be able to
insane.
transform and feed it good food where to the point where you're not even craving those cheeseburgers or any of that, and it almost becomes like disgusting to you, like at a certain point, right? Like it's like, oh, like I'm feeling so healthy and good. My mind is clear. I've never felt like this. Like it's like I'm on a natural high all the time. And then when I put that into my body, it kind of brings me down, makes me feel sluggish. So when you start feeling so good for so long, you don't want to introduce that food back in to bring you down again.
Yeah.
Well,
my co-hosts love when I tell these stories, but for a few years I lived in BC, right? And
What?
I
You
lived
did?
I lived on a resort in the middle of nowhere, so we didn't have fucking McDonald's or any of that shit. So for 2 years, basically, I went without having fast food.
Yeah.
And that's not to say there wasn't a deep fryer out there. Like, there was still deep fried goods and all, but like that wasn't the type of diet you had.
Yeah.
And when I came back home, I still remember, like, one of my first days here, I saw McDonald's and I was like, holy shit, McDonald's. And I went and I just had just a cheeseburger, like not even a McDouble or anything. I got so sick.
Oh yeah.
So sick because my body was just not used to
Not
those like
real food.
processed
Real food,
meats
man.
and
It's
not
greases
real
and
food.
like
Imagine the
oh.
people that eat that every day, all day. That's all they eat is
insane.
fast food. Like that's why they're like sluggish and feeling
Yeah.
down and depressed and like, oh, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. It's because you are what you eat and you are what you think.
Yeah.
And
Bottom
you
line.
don't realize that 90% of the grocery store is not real food. Like
Yeah.
you have to just go around the edge. Like everything in the aisles is
Well, and that's
not
why they have
real.
those market Sobeys now, where they've actually taken out a lot of the aisles. There's only like 4 or 5 aisles to the store. They keep it really to a minimum, like your cereals, your toilet papers, stuff like that. Like they don't even sell, like they don't even have like a pharmacy there anymore. Like there's the fresh produce, there's fresh meats, there's a seafood, a bakery.
Interesting. I never heard
And
of that.
like half the Sobeys in town are like that now.
Oh.
But yeah, basically they've cut out all of the aisles and they're trying to make it a market fresh.
Interesting.
brand
That's
of-
cool. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think that one issue I find, because I got on a little, I don't want to say diet because it wasn't really a diet, but like I watched what I eat, what I put in my body, right? So I tried to cut out like fast food, and I tried to cook for myself every day. But then my issue was life just got so busy that
Absolutely.
now cooking for myself was one thing, but then what I cooked for myself, my wife and kids didn't eat. So I had to cook for them as well. And it just became such a hassle.
It's so
that
much harder
it
when
is.
you live with anyone.
Yeah.
You should have said, "You're eating what I cook," and there's no way around.
Yeah, that's how it went back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
eat it or
Yeah.
starve.
That'd be
Oh,
our
yeah.
dads and grandfathers. You eat what's on your plate, or you're not going to bed without supper.
I
Yeah,
remember
exactly.
sitting at the kitchen table for hours, like, and I couldn't leave until I ate the awful food
But
that was on my
nowadays,
plate.
apparently, you can't do that because you're abusing your kids or whatever.
Oh.
Anyways, but yeah, that was the hard part. But yeah, I really want to get back to it too because I dropped some weight and now it's coming back again and again. Like seeing you and like you said, you were a little pudgy, back in the day. And I remember when I met you, like you were definitely definitely a bigger guy. And seeing you right now, like. Completely different person, man. Like it's good for you. Congrats on losing all this weight and way to go. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's
Yeah, I'm
working
not
for you.
turning back, man. I'm not turning back. This is too good.
I have a podcast for
I'm-
you. You said you like podcasts, right? While you're driving.
Yeah, listen
So-
to this podcast first
Yeah.
of all.
This one.
Yeah, for sure. You know I will.
I'm
It's called
obsessed
the
with
VIPOD.
this.
You might have heard of it.
I've been binging this podcast. It's called Mind Pump. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
I
You know,
think
I'm
you'll
not-
like it if you're into the like working out and fitness.
I really, for podcasts, like I'm just like Joe Rogan and TED Talks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And besides that, it's motivational speeches, how to run a business, relationship stuff maybe, and
Yeah.
then of course music, lots of music and
Yeah.
singing. Just driving on the highway, singing my ass off.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
These guys
Yeah.
talk a lot about. Well, they used to be trainers, personal trainers, and now they have a podcast, and it's yeah,
Oh,
it's,
awesome.
it's
I
super
will definitely
interesting.
check that out.
They're like really funny guys, and then they give amazing advice. And
You know who else are a
It's-
bunch of really funny guys? Just
Not
saying.
us.
you guys are all right.
You guys are
No,
good.
I was going to say last podcast on the left. Great show. They do true crime with a dose of comedy in
That
there.
is a good
It's
show.
fantastic.
Oh, true crime.
Yeah.
I did listen. I did listen
Everyone's
to a
got
lot
to
of-
have that one true crime
Yes.
podcast they're into, right?
Actually, when I first started on the highway listening to podcasts, there was so much true crime, but I just had to stop. It's just too much.
It
It
does get dark after a while, eh?
I listened to that one because you suggested it, and it was funny. But like, I listened to the Jeffrey Dahmer one, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, this is so fucked up and twisted and entertaining." But like, I can't listen to this all the time. This-
I saw a meme the
can't
other
believe
day that
people
was
like
like
this exist.
girls nowadays be like, I have anxiety, and then drink their third ice cap and put on a murder podcast.
Exactly. You gotta it's gonna make you think some shitty thoughts, right? You you got to stop listening to that shit if you don't want to feel that way. I
There's
guess,
balance.
you know?
There's balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'll just touch on something. We were talking about diets and stuff. I actually went vegan for 2 years, just because of the whole animal thing. I just totally against the commercializing and what they're going through right now. So that was a huge for me. But I fought with acid reflux my whole life, which was problematic when you're a
too.
singer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So since I
Sucks.
was a kid, since I got chubby, my teenage, all through high school, fucking acid reflux, eating Tums, especially when you drank. And I fought through all of that shit till my early 30s. And I said, you know what? I started dating this girl actually, and she was vegan. And she started making me vegan dishes, and they were really good. And I'm like, man, she's like, you're getting the same amount of protein in this dish that you are when you eat a steak or whatever. And she's going on, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try this. So I went vegan, and I kept with it for about 2 years. But man, I'm telling you, within a week or two of not eating any animal products, acid reflux was gone. Gone. 15, 20 fucking years of acid reflux was gone in 2 weeks.
My other half is vegan, so we can't air this part because if she hears this, then my life is over.
But anyway, I'm not vegan anymore. I'm back onto the meat, and I'm sorry, my poor animals, but I love it. And, I try to get it from, good sources and whatnot, but you just life is busy. Like you said earlier, trying to stay up on good food and nutrition, is just hard.
You just gotta do the best you can. And
yes,
I mean,
that's all you can do.
Live an active lifestyle. Keep fit and have fun.
From what I've heard, most of the ethical reasons to be vegan, if you really dive into them, aren't accurate anyway.
Right.
Like there's obviously, if you're eating meat, go to the sources that are, raising them well and
local
everything.
farms, local farmers.
Yeah, there's definitely ways of doing ethical eating, and I will agree with what Nomad said that if you want to dig deep enough, when you start getting into cost of life, vegan eating, there's just as much cost of life with pesticides and stuff like that,
and all the animals that are killed in the fields.
There's you can spin it a million ways. No matter which side you want to take, you can
spin
a million ways.
But you're gonna kill some rabbits and a few mice and whatever, and doing it in a field, but then that field's gonna produce food after food after food after food every year. But now you go to a commercialized, these behemoth cow farms in the States where there's no grass. If they're in concrete little jails getting fed until they can go to the shit house, and all they do is walk in their own shit. They can't even lie down to take a nap because they're standing in their own shit until they get to the end to where they get slaughtered. That's not right.
That's
not right.
That's not
I totally
ethical
agree.
Food at all.
But that's why I'm saying, if you pick, and meat protein is just, it is different than plant protein as well. But if you find your meat sources from ethically sourced companies,
we don't need to go dive into the vegan thing. I was just letting you know what it did for me, with my acid reflux and stuff like that. But everyone has their own thoughts on it, and there's an argument on every side.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not against it at all. I will say, because again, living with a vegan, it is very misunderstood. People hear vegan and just go, ugh, there's no meat. And like you said, you can get just as much protein and everything. The only thing that isn't in a vegan diet is B12. That's the only thing that really needs to actually be supplemented out of
you take a B12 vitamin. I take one every day, even
out of a vegan diet. And as far as flavors go, fuck you to anybody who thinks that you cannot make just as tasty vegan food. As
I had vegan chili.
Food.
I had no idea there was no meat in there.
Well, and that's the thing is nowadays the meat
pie.
The alternatives that are coming out nowadays are so damn close to actual meat that the argument is almost non-existent anymore.
I have nothing against people being vegan. I was just saying, if you pick your meat from good places, don't feel bad about.
I love meat.
About not being vegan anymore.
Meat is good. I can't deny a good chicken breast or a good steak, man.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. It's hard. I was so against it. Man, these poor animals, But I just was touching base because we were talking about diets and stuff. And when I went vegan, it really affected my body in a positive way.
That's really interesting about the acid reflux.
Yeah. And I haven't had it since, even though I went back to a meat, reintroducing meat into my diet. I still don't ever get acid reflux anymore.
You just fixed your gut flora.
Maybe,
or whatever,
your body just needed a reset, right?
something like that. Yeah.
And now you're not putting crap in your body anymore. So
I'm not going to bed with a full belly of alcohol and a bunch of cheeseburgers.
Yeah, exactly.
That might help a little bit.
Wait. What's wrong with going to bed with a gut of alcohol and a bunch of cheeseburgers?
Do you have a bunch of
cheeseburgers?
cheeseburgers?
Acid reflux.
I know my dad stopped eating bread for a while, and he said that really helped with his.
Actually,
heartburn.
I've talked to a lot of people that's quit eating bread, and it's really helped them a lot for some reason. I don't know what's in the bread that causes.
It's just,
problems.
I think it's just very heavy in the starches and the glutens or whatever.
Yeah. I don't eat much bread myself.
The
these days.
utens
I'm
and the
all into
glutens.
Yeah, gluten. That's right. Yeah, gluten and all that stuff. So gluten is definitely not good for anybody. That shit sticks to your stomach walls and gets in your walls, and like it kind of starts. If you eat a lot of gluten over a long time, it can get into your stomach lining. Your stomach lining is like Velcro, right? So the gluten is like very sticky, like glue, like gluten. That's where so the glue will it actually will get in between your stomach lining and separate the Velcro kind of feel, and you can get they call it the leaky gut, where your stuff will start leaking into your body and making you ill.
Yeah.
So anyway,
right there you go. The more you know.
I'm just gonna call my doctor up. I have a few questions I need to ask here next time I go see.
Well, Steve, thank you very much for joining us today. Again, like I mentioned before, that you and the boys from Dreadnaut will always have a little special place in my heart, because you guys were one of my first band friends that I met here in Winnipeg.
I want to say mine as well too. I didn't really mention it earlier, but like I definitely had a handful of Dreadnaut shows under my belt when I was in my 20s.
Awesome. Man,
never. I don't think I ever got to like meet you guys back in the day, but I was definitely out at the bars.
He was creeping in the background,
having a good time.
He was the guy jerking off in the corner.
There's a few of those.
Oh yeah.
Especially at the fucking zoo. Holy fuck. But yeah, best time of my life, man. Like my 20s. Like, yeah, I didn't make the millions, and we didn't make it to the whole all-stardom, but I'll never trade it for anything. Like it was just an incredible time. And like the music will always be with me. I'm still writing. We're still producing music. That'll stick with us forever, and I'll never quit.
I love hearing you talk about it. Like you sound just so happy talking about your whole music career and even writing now. And it's just really inspiring.
We're not gonna I don't know where to go with it, but I definitely feel like I've lived a life that a lot of people dream of or haven't been able to do, and I'm very thankful for that.
One thing I like to ask on the show, especially of musicians, can you screw up a song lyric for us? Like pick. Well, like Jimi Hendrix. Excuse me while I kiss this guy. I
don't even know where to begin, bro. You put me on the spot like that. I don't even know. Yeah, I'm not I don't listen to as much music as I should, to be honest. You know what I mean? But I don't know I don't know
something that it sounds like.
You thought it was a lyric.
I don't.
Realized you thought it was a lyric, and then you realized years later that that's not what it was. Like mine was don't go chasing waterfalls.
Some of those I can't. Fuck me.
Yeah, what did you think it was?
Man, I truly apologize, but
yeah. So don't go chasing waterfalls. When I was a kid, I thought they were saying go Jason Waterfall, like Jason Waterfall was a person. I was like, go Jason Waterfall. Makes no sense, but that's what I thought the lyric was.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Sorry, but I know Slipknot, like that chorus to "Wait and Bleed." I don't remember what I was singing there, but it was definitely not the right lyrics. Like where he talks about something on the headstone there. I don't know. Sorry, man. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay. It's on the spot.
For lyrics, like for me, man, to me, so when we write a song, I am the worst at writing. It takes me forever. I am not an educated man. I don't have much schooling behind me. I just started reading more these days. I was not a big reader. So when I write lyrics, it takes me forever. I got to listen to the song 1,000 times, piecing words. Where am I going with this? And I spend a lot of time on writing lyrics, man. And yeah, so off the top of my head, I just can't come up with anything.
I got a different question for you then. What advice would you give to someone wanting to join a band and kind of do what you've been doing?
Yeah, what do you do nowadays? Like, because back in the day, you used to go down to the music store and there was a message board, right? You'd tear off a few of the phone numbers, and then you'd have to go home and gain up your confidence for 2 hours and then call each of them. But that doesn't exist anymore.
No, so I would say the best thing for new up-and-coming musicians these days is to become the best musician that you can become personally on your own. And learn how to start playing in front of your family and your friends and getting comfortable with doing that. But you become the best singer you can possibly be, become the best guitarist you can be as quick as you can be, as quick as you can, and then go out and people will just attract to you because you're going to be that good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to put in the time and the hours. Like from the age of 15 to 17, like I mentioned earlier, when I played guitar with my best friend, all we did was smoke weed, skip school, and play guitar. We were playing 5-6 hours a day. Yeah. By the time from 15 to the age of 17, by the time I was 17, I was ripping Metallica solos, like the one Metallica solo, tapping the guitar. And that's when Anthony seen me play this guitar at a party and said, man, you got to come play bass for my band, you know? And
so just says a lot about dropouts and weed smokers right there. Because like you guys weren't going to school, but you were doing an apparently bad drug, but you were still dedicated as hell to advancing what was important to you and, just
I'm not telling anybody to go out and start smoking pot.
I am. Do it.
Yeah. Okay, try it out. Maybe I wish,
I'm just saying you're breaking the stereotype a little.
No, I'm saying, it enhances music. Weed definitely enhances music. When you're playing it, you can focus, get into it. It feels better, But yeah, try it out if you want. I'm not telling anybody what to do.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. It enhanced music for me, but then it became a very big addiction, and my lungs got so black and I could barely run. And
school is not for everyone. When we were growing up in high school, it was probably very stereotypical. You have to go to school and you have to do good and then have to go to university. Course. Yeah, exactly. You have to go to university. You have to follow these steps, right? Whereas me, I hate it. I mean, I loved going to school because of the parties that it created and friendships. But I think nowadays, I think kids are getting a little more.
I didn't take band in school because I thought, where the hell will that get me in life? I got to go take a Microsoft Word class instead because that'll get me somewhere.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I ended up being a musician.
But that's the thing. I think there's a lot of the people that in the past, they were kind of following what the society told us. You have to do this and that.
Absolutely, and still way too many people still are. Mm-hmm. We gotta start coming together more as communities. Everyone's so fucking divided. Look, imagine every house grew a garden. Yeah. Every house on your block had a garden. Your neighbor grew fucking carrots and lettuce. You grew beets and whatever. Imagine everybody had a fucking garden and you were nice to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Start sharing your vegetables. You jar them up for the winter. You don't have to fucking spend half your earnings on food.
They actually, a lot of Nordic communities actually do that. It's called community gardening. So one house will do carrots and cabbage, and then the next house will do lettuce, and then the next house will do,
that's beautiful. I haven't
peppers
heard that.
And this and that, and then but they each their entire back acre or whatever is a garden, and then they just share with the entire community, and then that way nobody has to do any shopping. You just use what the community
and it's good
grows.
Food. There's no,
it is.
It's all fresh.
Pesticides. It's all fresh. You're not putting pesticides. You're not doing all that other stuff. That's the way to go. The rest of it, we all have to start doing that.
Martha might be fertilizing with dog shit, but who knows?
Hey, whatever you got to do. I don't know what dog shit.
I just planted.
Not recommended.
I just planted our tomatoes, and our summer tomatoes are fantastic. I'm almost to the point where in the wintertime, I barely buy tomatoes from the store because they just taste unnatural.
I planted really early this year and started growing early, and this weekend I tried putting everything outside to get it some nice good sunlight and killed 90% of it. I'm so fucking pissed off.
Oh yeah, the weather was
it was too hot. I shocked it. I went too extreme.
who would have thought this weather we had the first week of June? I'd never seen anything so cold. It was brutal. Not good for gardening for sure. But yeah, like just, if everyone grew a garden, man, that would take care of so many problems.
Right.
Just that alone, you know?
And then get a hunter or two on every block, and then there's your meat.
Sure, yeah, you want to get the meat, or maybe we should be having chickens again in your
Right?
exactly.
Oh, so the nomad had a pet chicken.
Oh no! Did you eat it?
She didn't make it.
No.
We did.
I do have pictures of them holding her over a smoker, though.
Yeah.
No,
Oh my
man,
God.
chicken is the best pet ever. Like, she brought so much joy to my life.
Especially when she ran into the glass door, right? The dumbass. Wasn't the smartest chicken.
That's just like dogs going and barking at their own reflection.
Yeah.
She actually might have been the smartest chicken. They still would have probably ran into a glass door.
Did the chicken Did the chicken show you a lot of love and come and cuddle and stuff?
All the time. After work every day, I'd go outside and she had this big dog fence, well, big for her.
Enclosure.
Yeah. And then after work, I'd come and let her out, and she'd roam around the yard, and usually around 6 or so, I'd just be sitting out there, and she would hop up the deck and then hop onto my lap and just
oh man,
snuggle into
animals
my
are
lap.
just incredible.
So amazing.
We don't give animals enough credit. I'm telling you, man.
I never in a million years
I do when
would
I
have
eat them.
thought
For sure.
I'd have
But
so
I mean,
much
while
love
they're
for
alive,
chicken.
we need to take better care of our animals. Commercial fucking food and all that stuff, man.
I have 5 cats and 2 dogs. I'm doing my part.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
I think the world's waking up. People are waking up slowly to a lot of things, and I don't know. I hope we see a lot of change soon. That's for sure.
I'm trying to find a picture really quickly. A picture of Mumble.
Yeah, her name
Just
was
go on
Mumble.
our Instagram and go to the very first pictures.
Her little, it's hard to see over there. Her little
Back it up a little bit. Just oh, she was like a right up rooster chicken. Yeah, okay. Wow.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, you might have a better picture.
Yeah.
Probably.
So what
Somewhere.
happened? Did she just pass away from natural causes?
So
Natural diseases.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was at a friend of mine's because I was out of town, and we'd spent all summer building this chicken house, and it was awesome. And so she was living in there, and then he had brought some more chickens in, and I guess one of them must have had a disease or something because they all died, and I just got a very sad phone call.
Yeah.
Mumble for life.
Mumble for life.
There's Bretsky holding the chicken right beside the smoker.
Barbecue.
Oh, is that the one you
Oh
showed?
man. So is that why we're not allowed to have chickens in our backyards? I think it's because of disease and stuff, or what?
So
No,
cute.
she was in East St. Paul or
No, she was in
West St. Paul,
Toulon. Oh yeah, I had her in West St. Paul. I guess I wasn't supposed to have her, but I was like,
okay. No, yeah, that's what I'm just
But
curious.
they actually just this year
year.
they're looking at passing a law that's going to allow a handful of chickens domesticated within the city.
I'd get some chickens just purely for eggs.
The
itself.
eggs
Just
are
for the
awesome.
eggs, man. Absolutely.
she had the most
Absolutely.
adorable little tiny speckled eggs too. I'd save up like
Aw.
12 and then make an omelet, and it was the best
Oh,
omelet
nice.
ever.
So you were getting eggs from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I
That's
was so
fucking
proud
cool.
when she laid her first egg. I was so proud.
You've become a woman.
So how often would you get eggs? Like how often do they lay an egg?
When she started laying, it was almost once a day.
One egg a day?
I'd probably get like 5 or 6 a week. Yeah.
That's incredible.
was, yeah.
Wow, I never do that. Yeah, so if everyone could just have a garden and maybe every couple houses has a few chickens,
Right?
bam,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
laughing.
Absolutely.
We're fucking laughing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, again, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah,
it's
it's
been a
great
pleasure
meeting
having you on the show.
Pleasure's mine.
Yeah, and what we do at the end of the show, we'll do our part later because we still have a few more things to go through. But we do shout outs at the end of the show. So this is your time to give shout out to whoever you want to. And we'll and send me a message after, and then we'll tag them. Like whether it's, obviously we're gonna tag Wakefyre, Highway 6 Express. We'll tag it all in our pod script and on our social media as well.
Yeah, like I'll give a shout out, of course, to my brothers in Wakefyre, who are my bestest bros right now. And we have some deep conversations, and I really don't know where I'd be without them. My family, obviously my parents and my sister, we are still close, and that's about it. That's my circle right now. I'm not out having 100 friends anymore and trying to get that, that validation, if you would, from people. I'm just so over all that bullshit, and it's just like keeping my family close, which is my parents, my sister's family, my nephew, my daughter Milena. And then and my boys in Wakefyre, that's my circle, and it's so nice to have a smaller circle these days. My brothers Rob and I see a lot from Dreadnaut and Chris. I love them still. I still stay in contact with them all the time. Robin actually helps me out when doing deliveries and stuff in Winnipeg. Even Chris does once in a while. Yeah, we're still all really close. Yeah. And so just shout out to all of them. They're the closest people to me on this planet, and I don't know where I'd be without any of them.
It's awesome.
Right on. Okay, Steve.
Where
Nomad, it was a pleasure meeting you.
You too.
Gretzky, you're awesome. And Tommy, I love you, buddy.
Where
Been great.
Where can people find you before you go? Like if people want to follow you.
Just find me like Facebook and Instagram. Of course, Stephen Crooks. Pardon?
You, the bands, everybody.
Yeah,
Well, Tommy will tag him.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I guess there's some stuff on there. Just look up Wakefyre, Dreadnaut. My name's Steve Crooks. I'll give a quick plug. It's coming soon. I'm starting my own YouTube channel called The Crooks Highway.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I actually recorded Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf with Ronnie Ladderbrook and the Electric a year and a half ago now. And I've just been like shitting the bed on it, but it's coming out this summer, The Crooks Highway, and it's just me with a revolving door musicians doing cover songs. And
nice.
Cool.
So look forward to that. I'm excited to release that soon.
Yeah, once it's released, we'll definitely share it on our social media as well. Yeah. So
it's called The Crooks Highway. I took my last name and I took the business Highway 6 Express, and I'm like The Crooks Highway. Nice. Because it's a highway of revolving door of musicians, right? So I'm excited for that. Yeah, right. Man. Cool. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, you guys.
Thank you so much for all your time. It's been a great time.
And you guys... hope to run into you in a mosh pit at some
show you fucking will, baby. just did Slipknot recently with Wage War, and In This Moment. Fuck, that was the first concert in 2 years for me, and I was in the pit ripping it up like I was 25.
And
man.
I know, so are we. I was there too, and then I saw your post, and I'm like, how did I not run into Steven? Like I was there stage or crowd surfing and just like
Tommy, it didn't matter where you were. You just looked to the left, there's Tommy. You look right, there's Tommy. Behind you, Tommy's there too.
I'm surprised I did not run into you, man. That's crazy.
I'm surprised too, man. I was all over the floor there. It was incredible. It was such a good concert to come back to.
It was fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I was beat up as hell, but it was well worth it.
Corey Taylor or something else, man. That guy's wicked. Yeah. Okay. All the best to you guys. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, take care.
All right. Wow. That was
great.
That was a good interview.
That was great. I mean, Steve is
his energy is awesome.
And you know what? And he's been like that since day one. When I met him, just so much energy and love from that guy that I've met them and I was like, these guys are fucking awesome. And then we've been hanging out quite a while for quite a bit before I got married and had a kid and all that. But yeah, no, Steve is again, Wakefyre, Dreadnaut, shout out to them. And shall we get into the confession booth?
Yeah, I bitched at the group chat. I don't know if anybody did anything about it, but no, it still looks like no responses in there.
Yeah, I don't think we got anything.
I'm here for a confession.
Oh, Lord Jesus, what have you done?
Nothing. You just take it easy now.
I must confess. Well, my dear. For your penance, 10 Bloody Marys and a good shag.
Leave a message. Beep.
Great group of listeners we got.
I'm pretty sure I left me a message to remind me of something.
Oh,
well, at least we have something.
But, I mean, now that you mentioned voicemails, I remembered it all on my own.
Oh, for tits. It is here. Okay. Well, let's listen to it.
Dear self, don't forget about the weird phone call you got last night. Goodbye.
I thought you were going to say, don't forget about the weird phone call you're making right now.
Did I pocket dial you?
No. So last night, what time was this? So last night at 8:03 p.m.,
just over 24 hours ago.
I got a phone call and the, what's it called?
Notification?
Where it says like
Voicemail
the name,
number?
The call display.
Call display. The call display says probe research. Look at this.
Answer.
Show it to the camera. There you go.
Probe research.
Nice.
We have the phone number.
There we go. Yeah, call him.
You guys wanna
Call him.
Everybody call Probe Research
Call?
and schedule your probe.
So, oh my God, this would be so funny if you guys call Probe Research
Just give the number just in case people didn't see it.
So the phone number is 204-816-8076. Call them, record your call, and send it into the confession booth.
Or just call the confession booth and tell us what happened.
Bretsky,
if you don't know how to
call them right now?
Yeah, let's do it. What's the number?
Okay, it's 204 816 8076.
And just say, like, I'm calling about the probe research.
Yeah.
I would like very much to be probed.
You have reached Tell City Hall. We do public opinion research and may have called you to ask you a public policy question.
Town City Hall?
Call and you can reach us at info@tellcityhall.ca or at 888-883-7094.
Okay, so people don't call this number because it sounds like it's probably a scam.
That's crazy that they have
But
their
it might be a
name as
probe scam,
Probe
so it might be
Research.
worth looking into.
No, Bretsky's going to be getting calls from the probe research company.
My friend said something about like, oh, like the aliens are trying to contact you. And I was like, what happened to the good old days where they
E.T. was phoning home.
where they just took you without asking.
Right?
Yeah. and then dropped you off a week later at a phone booth at a truck stop in the middle of nowhere. And then they had to make a movie about you that would terrify me for decades.
Which movie is that?
Fire in the Sky.
I got a voicemail.
Oh,
too.
based on a true story.
Is it?
Yeah. I will not rewatch it because I feel like it would probably like ruin it. The special effects probably aren't up to date anymore.
Yeah.
But as a 13-year-old, that movie traumatized me. I couldn't sleep without a light on for
First saved message. Research. End of message.
research.
Okay.
Research.
So the message they left me just said research. Very
Probe research.
interesting.
But yeah, Fire in the Sky. Basically, like this guy goes missing at the beginning of the movie. Family doesn't know where he is, and then like 4 or 5 days later, they get a phone call, and it's him looking for help, and he's at a truck stop in the middle of nowhere, and they go find him, and he's naked, and he doesn't remember anything and stuff, and they bring him back home, and when he gets back home, certain things start triggering flashbacks. And then so throughout the movie, he's having these flashbacks of being on the alien ship and like getting these probes and like waking up in these weird fucking chambers and stuff like that. And it scared the living bejesus out of me.
That I don't know why, but
Did you just have a flashback?
the whole
No, he just had an orgasm.
The whole
Tommy just orgasm.
The
Right
whole
middle of the show.
probing topic reminded me of something. No, it reminded me of. So I went to see Jim Jeffries last week.
Oh yeah. I told you to put that all over our story, and you didn't.
I did.
Oh, did you? I
Yeah,
didn't.
you
I don't.
just
I don't look at our.
clearly don't know what happened, you dumbass. I tagged him in every single story too.
He's fine.
I even tagged him in a picture where he was walking around with a microphone that had a cord, and as he's walking left to right, left to right. Eventually there was this giant knot. He's like, fuck, that knot's bugging me. So he literally stops the show and he starts taking
Oh my
it
god,
apart.
I would totally do that too.
Oh, it was hilarious. And then he's like, oh, fuck. He gave up. But so speaking of probing, and that reminded me, I learned at the show, guess what the sign language is, or the sign is for slut in sign language. Like, how do you show slut? Nope.
Slut.
Nope. So this, like,
that's cunt.
Around the crotch, that's cunt. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that one.
The slut is
Oh my.
like this. And he's like, and not even one, 2 fingers.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay, you
Yikes.
guys need to come on to YouTube and check this episode
I
out.
came onto YouTube this afternoon. A couple other
Tommy
websites.
comes on YouTube at least once a day.
But yeah, though, that was, I mean, this guy was on for 2 hours, and I probably laughed 1 hour and 55 minutes.
Your face is
And
just
I laughed
so
for
sore
3
at the
hours
end.
and 57 minutes.
No,
I've seen Jim Jeffries live before too. Last time he came here,
he
and
was
he's so good.
fucking funny, and like, you know what? His jokes were very clever. Like, he touched on the gays, the transgenders, but like he was kind of like talking about, I like those gay conversion camps, and he's like,
You gotta be careful, because if you don't tell this joke right.
no. And then he's like, and then everyone was kind of like quiet, and he's like, oh no, I mean, like, I want to get converted to be gay. He's like, you know what? Imagine this. Like, now I have a wife, and, you're married, and, sometimes she gets naggy. Well, if you're married to a dude, he has the same interests. That would be the perfect relationship. Like, he was very
Wasn't
good.
there a movie with the guy from King of Queens there?
Oh,
Kevin
yeah,
James?
Kevin James?
with Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
where they did that.
I
where
now
they
pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Yeah, Chuck and Larry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the premise of that.
But you know what? And again, like, so again, he touched on like political things too, topics, but like he was awesome. Like, it wasn't over to.
When I saw him, he was wearing this jacket that was little like mirror ball squares. The entire thing was just like a mirrored jacket. And he's like, I know a lot of you guys are probably like wondering about this jacket, but like I was doing a show out in England, and there was a few other people and like that were part of this. It was a festival or something. And so I was out and about with some of them, and Ringo Starr was one of the guys that we were with, and we were like going through these fancy clothing stores, and I just saw this jacket, and I kind of thought it was ridiculous, and I, put it on, and I'm looking in the mirror and looking at it, and behind me I hear, looks good. And he's like, when Ringo Starr tells you a jacket looks good, you fucking buy it. It doesn't even fucking matter how much it costs or what. You buy that jacket and you wear that jacket.
And then one of my favorite jokes was actually he was talking about, like, again, he just got married like a couple of years ago. And then he brings up like, so now the sex is like it's a little bit different, like there's only 4 positions: your favorite, her favorite, and 2 that you agree on. And then he's like, but every once in a while, you sit down, you put on porn, and then you see all these crazy fucking positions. So you go and try it, next thing you know, she's on her back, like banging her head against the floor. You're trying to fuck her, and it's like, fuck this shit. Let's just go back to the regular stuff. Like, jokes like that, but very much about like relationships. He went to dirty stuff too a little bit, but and then the other one was where he talked about. He asked somebody in the crowd, like, okay, anybody from Australia here? So the one chick's like, yeah, me, Okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions, and then you're gonna name what I'm asking, And it says, like, what's the number 1 most famous cheese? And she's like, I don't know. Well, fuck off, like goes to the next one. But it's called coon cheese. Coon.
We can't air that.
But it's, and then so he goes like, my dad is old school stereotypical, and he's like, he has no issues with it, And then so he's like, look, my dad has a few friends. He has an Italian friend, and he has this Asian friend, like his name is Peter. By the way, it's not his real name, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, what if we called it the chink cheese, And he started repeating the word, and his dad's like, well, that's not right. He's like, now you get it. So like he had lots of funny jokes that were like he tried to prove a point.
And Dave Chappelle does very much the same thing. He'll tell a joke that'll make you be like, whoa. And then he'll do a little backtrack and kind of lay out the premise of it, and then you're like, fuck yeah, I'm a hypocrite.
So no, he was fantastic. Again, like very entertaining, and every second word is a cunt, and my wife hates that word. But she was like, with his accent, it sounded beautiful.
Well, and we had C on a few weeks ago as well, and he's Australian, and you got to understand that in their dialect, and honestly in British dialect as well, they use it a lot, and they use it like we say buddy.
Yeah.
Like
exactly, yeah.
It's not used in the same derogatory sort of context as it is in this part of the world. It's used much more freely, and it's used again as a basically like saying a buddy or a guy or yeah
exactly.
He's a good cunt.
But it was fantastic.
It's not
derogatory.
Exactly, in any sort of way.
Basically, next time Jim Jeffries comes to Winnipeg, I'm going again. That's for sure. Like he was.
Maybe
I would easily see him again.
Well, I bought the tickets in December. Yeah. So.
All right.
Anyways, so
we got the fucking fruit flies in here. Dave's fruit flies.
That fucker was hovering here.
Yeah, he was around my mic earlier too.
But yeah, so if you guys want to leave us a voicemail, kind of, like
even if you don't want to leave us a voicemail, do it, because it takes like 3 freaking seconds.
I actually last night I had a good conversation with Grumpy on Discord, and he said,
he was saying he was saying
that either if
we had to piss him off.
Well, if he said 2 things will make him call in if he finds like a topic really, really interesting,
or if something makes him really mad.
And he's like, well, nothing can piss me off, so I started calling him a cunt, pussy, and just like be a total dick to him. And I'm probably going to continue tonight too. Hopefully he calls in. But anyways, Grumpy, if you're going to listen to this show, go fuck yourself, eat shit. And the thing you told me not that went too far, just go do that.
Join our Discord.
And so if you guys want to leave a voicemail, go to our website, thevipod.com, and you can leave a voicemail in the right hand bottom corner. You can find a little microphone. Just click on it. Put your name in, or don't put your name in.
Well, and if they want to know how you went too far on Discord, tell them how to join our Discord.
Well, I'll get to that.
Now, let's do it.
So leave a voicemail on our website. Or you can also email us at vipodmail@gmail.com. On our website, you can rate and review our show. You can also subscribe. Yeah, you're supposed to do that, Nomad. You can also subscribe on our website, and when you subscribe to our website, to the emailing list, you will get an email, an invite email to the Discord group, which sometimes can get out of hand a little bit. But it's good times.
Mostly Tommy. It's mostly Tommy
good
getting
times.
out of hand.
You can also rate and review our show, as I mentioned, on the website. But you can now rate, actually, our show on Spotify as well. If you listen to how many shows, man? At least one show on Spotify, then you can rate.
Oh yeah, you have to listen to an episode. Or it said listen to a couple episodes.
Okay, yeah. So if you're listening on Spotify now, you can rate the show there. You can also do it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can listen to it on Amazon Music and TuneIn Radio as well. Find us on the social media: Facebook, the VIPod, IG, the VIPod Podcast. Shout out to our sponsors.
The
Too late.
Pizza Oven.
The Pizza Oven, go to their website, thepizzaoven.ca, and you can order your pizza there and use the promo code
VIPod5. And don't forget to order online to get another 5% off for a grand total
of
10% off. We can do math here on the VIPod too. We're very educated people here.
Shout out to Safety Net Studio. Check them out at safetynetstudio.com. And also Badlands Promotions. Badlands Promotions, you can find them on Instagram and on Facebook at Badlands Promotions.
And while you're talking about them,
we have a poster, right? There's a show coming up.
Yeah, they this Sunday, if anybody is in the Brandon area,
wants to go for a drive,
you should go check out their Badlands Promotions, and Ghost Trail Booking is presenting Hexus, their 2022 Canada tour. With a couple other opening bands as well, including Indigo, which we have. We did the music video shoot a couple weeks back, and we actually have them coming up as a guest on our show
in the
near future. And they are just such a great band. They're so good. And from what Dag was telling me, these
I want you
guys
to name
all
that other band. Like, what is it?
Fun Eater, I think, and Do Smoke.
What is it?
Do Smoke.
Do Smoke.
Yeah.
There was another one there, like something like.
I think that's Fun Eater. I think that's what I'm getting from it. It's one of those like metal. I don't know if you guys can see.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
But it's one of those like metal writing things where I'm really guessing. But I think
it's SVN or something.
I
like
think
that.
it's a backwards F, and so it's Fun Eat R.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong.
But it's
we should know
show.
these things.
It'll be a metal show.
Yeah, and from what Dag was telling me, each band is a very kind of different style of metal. So you're going to get 4 very different bands in a night, and they're playing at the East Side Eatery, 1451 Richmond Avenue East, Sunday, June 12th, 2022 in Brandon, Manitoba.
Yeah, so make sure you guys follow Badlands Promotions. Shout-outs.
Shit-outs.
My shout out is to Grumpy.
He's waiting for a flash, and so are we.
He said so.
Tommy promised Grumpy a bum flash.
If he calls in.
No,
only if he. Sorry.
It was Grumpy,
sorry, Grumpy, you
who
fucked
said
up.
he gave us, or you guys gave us, us, 5-star review because I was back on the show.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why I shout out Grumpy.
That's a good one.
I feel the love.
I am going to shout out Brett James, who I bumped into, like I said earlier in the show this week. And, when we got talking to beer, he gave me a few suggestions on top of this Brighter Shade of Doom that I drank today. I had a few of the other Sucrums one. There was a coffee Pilsner, which basically tastes like cold brew carbonated. Like, it doesn't even taste like beer. It was such a good beer. And I had the Sucrum's Lemon Ghost as well, which I think I recommended to myself during the conversation. But I'm going to shout out Brett James because they were honestly really good beer suggestions. And I'm expanding my beer horizons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shmee.
Shmee.
Tommy, what's your shout out?
Yeah, Tommy.
My shout
Who
out.
do you shout out?
I put it in the freezer and I was like, fuck, last time a thing exploded in there. Oh, shit. I'm like, I hope it's still intact. Okay. My shout out goes to Hampy.
Aw, and her new little
and
puppy.
her little Lilith Moon, the little bugger. I mean, it's fucking cute. I gotta
so cute, you want to kick it, right?
So cute.
Maybe
just squeeze it till its eyes pop out of its head.
I did not say that, Happy. That was all Bretsky.
He did before the show. I'm just repeating it. None of those thoughts came from me.
No, I mean, fuck yeah. Like, she even said it on Discord. Just
That's
like,
such a cute
for those that are on Facebook and Instagram, I'm sorry, but I'm posting
No, she said, I am not sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sorry, but I'm posting a lot of pictures and videos, and yeah, she is posting a lot. But yeah, that little bugger is cute. I mean, it's a pocket-sized dog, but I laughed so hard when she posted a picture of the puppy sleeping, and like, we can't take her for a walk yet.
Because she doesn't have her vaccines.
Yeah, but we put her in a backpack, and now she's exhausted. I'm like, what?
Aww.
So you carried the dog, and the dog's exhausted.
I bet I could make at least a 50-yard field goal with that dog.
And it would be the cutest field goal that anybody's ever seen.
Wow, Tommy pulled a nomad. He spat his drink out.
I knew Tommy would get that one.
That would be the cutest field goal. Oh. All right. Well, I apologize. I'm actually going to apologize for that comment, Hemp, because as I'm shouting out your puppy, I'm laughing like super hard. But yeah, no, congratulations on the new puppy. She is cute as fuck, and I can't wait to meet her. And I'm gonna I went to Boulevard Meats. Shout out to Boulevard Meats too, because I'm gonna try to get them as a sponsor. But I went there to buy some sausages. Yeah. And there's these giant fucking bones. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get that bone for the fucking puppy. And just imagine like trying to drag it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, I really hope that we can kind of, hang out one day and just kind of come see the puppy and have a beer maybe on the porch. So
bring it out to a Bomber game. You never know.
I'm not laughing. All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to episode 61.
Oh, 8 away.
We're getting
8
closer
away
to 69.
Do we know who's in that day?
No, I don't know. I don't think we have anyone.
We need to make that a pretty special guest.
Kyle?
Can we get Sue from the Sunday Night Sex Show? Is she still alive?
She's still alive? I was just gonna say.
She was like 85 back in my teens. So.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the sex talk, I'm pretty sure she's
got
Today we have
stamina.
Sue from the Sunday Night Sex Show. Beep. 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 Yeah, that's how that show's gonna go.
Oh, fuck. Wow. Okay. Thanks, guys. Nomad's too busy taking pictures. Bretsky's too busy fucking cracking jokes, and I can't breathe anymore. My
I'm
back's
doing my
killing
old
me.
man laugh.
Yeah. What was that dog? What was the dog's name? Muttley? No. Yeah, it is Muttley.
Muttley.
Yeah. Do you know this dog? No man.
It's from old Hanna-Barbera.
Looks familiar. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks familiar.
Yeah, he was a good dog.
Shout out to Muttley.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Loads.
Tune in next week. Loads with Perrier water. They're not sponsors, so fuck them. But maybe they'll join us. Yet. Exactly. Fuck you. We love you.
Bye.
Take your phone, take a picture of my bundle, and send it to him.
It's not bad.
He would kill himself.
I know my bundle's not bad, but
he's so homophobic.
Just send a picture of my balls. Just so you know, I'm a man. I'm a trans
I'm
woman.
a man. Duh.
Send a picture of his balls and tell him they're your balls.
I do have a picture of his balls. I have a video
It's
of
like,
his
damn, those look familiar.
Oh my god, that was so fucking funny.
Oh my god.
I thought
How many times did he fall that night? Like 3 times.
3 at least.
So it was just and knocked the guitars over.
Oh man, I wouldn't. Like if it was my guitars, I would have fucking lost my shit.